Now, the Samsung Galaxy S21 was one of the more compact flagship smartphones of last year with its charming 6.2-inch design. It's positively miniature compared with the 6.7-inch mega bastards of 2021. And the good news for any stumpy-fingered people like myself is that in 2022, Samsung hasn't buggered about with the formula. The fresh Galaxy S22 is a mite smaller in fact at 6.1 inches, which unfortunately does also mean a dinkier battery. But on the flip side, you've got more grunt courtesy of the upgraded Exynos 2200 chipset, as well as an upgraded camera setup, sexier display tech, and a few other little tweaks here and there. Now, I was fortunate enough to get some proper hands-on action time with the Galaxy S22 ahead of the official launch, and I had a bit of a play with it side by side with the original Galaxy S21 from last year to see exactly what has changed and has it actually improved the overall experience. So here's my early impressions ahead of my in-depth Galaxy S22 review, and for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now, as I already mentioned in the intro bit, which you most likely skipped, so I'll just go ahead and repeat myself right here, the Samsung Galaxy S22 has shrunk in size a little compared with last year's version, down from 6.2 to 6.1 inches. And there is a clear difference here when you stick them side by side. The Galaxy S22 is definitely more hand-friendly despite sporting slightly flatter edges. It's just really nice to grip. It's bloody lovely, that hand feel, cracking stuff. But despite this more shrunken finish, the Galaxy S22 effectively weighs the exact same as the S21 before it, which is down to the actual materials used to construct them. You see, the old S21's arse end was made from Samsung's lightweight Glastic material, which is thankfully surprisingly durable, but also feels kind of cheap for a flagship blower. Meanwhile, up front, you've got a Gorilla Glass Victus display, which is shatter resistant, but also scratches up rather easily. Now, for the fresh new Galaxy S22, Samsung has kicked that Glastic square in the crotch, and instead it's packed on a Gorilla Glass Victus coating both front and back, while the edging has been upgraded to Samsung's fresh new Armor aluminium design. So overall, the new Galaxy S22 is definitely a tougher customer than the older S21. That's something that's been further verified by the fact that I actually dropped mine during the hands-on session. Whoopsies. But it may still scratch up rather easily, however, just like the Gorilla Glass Victus screen on the S21. Now, both the S21 and the S22 come in the standard Phantom White and Phantom Black colours that Samsung loves so very much. Meanwhile, the S21 was also available in Phantom Pink and Phantom Violet, while the S22 comes in this rather fetching dark green effort and also the good old reliable pink gold. So overall, with the design, I really like the S22. I prefer it to the older S21. It feels like a more premium flagship smartphone. I really like the comfortable one-handed use of it all as well. Now it's slightly more compact, but in terms of the actual aesthetics, it does look very, very similar to the older S21 as well, so I can see why some people might get slightly upset by that. So now let's shift onto the software, and the S22 isn't really any different from the S21 now that that's been updated to OneUI 4, which is sat on top of Android 12. Certainly flicking through the settings menus and diving on into those submenus, I struggle to see any differences whatsoever between the S22 and my old S21. And that's absolutely fine because I love the software side of things on the S21. That OneUI 4 launcher is absolutely lovely. It takes the best bits from Android 12, including the greater customization, the excellent privacy features, of course. Then also adds a whole bunch of extra stuff, all the stuff you know and love if you're a Samsung fan, the likes of the Knox security suite. You've got that DeX shenanigans if you want to hook up your phone to a monitor and use it like a computer. And of course, as always, a bugger ton of Samsung's own apps, including Samsung Health, Google Bixby Assistant, just so much Samsung shenanigans, and most of it is just duplicating Android features, which is slightly annoying, but yeah, there you go. The S22 does it just as the S21 did it before. But I'm not going to spend any more time in this video banging on about OneUI 4. I've done a full in-depth video review / tips and tricks guide on it already, so if you want to know more, then definitely go check that out. And no changing up really in the security side of things, because the S22, like the S21 before, it sports an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor backed up by Face Unlock as well, so nice and tight. And for the storage, you can bag yourself up to 256 gigs of internal space, though sadly no microSD memory card support on the S21 or the S22. And at a quick squint, the S22 seems to once again sport the exact same display tech as the original S21, so you've got a Dynamic AMOLED screen here, albeit one that's a teeny bit smaller than the previous flagship, but it's still Full HD Plus resolution, and with this compact design, that means supremely sharp visuals. You'll get plenty of detail packed into every frame of any video you're watching, photos look absolutely fantastic. The color saturation is completely customizable through the display settings, but on the Galaxy S22 you also have the added benefit of Samsung's new Vision Booster feature. This actually tweaks the screen color and contrast to match the environmental light, so darker images are easier to see in brighter conditions. And on top of that, the S22 also boasts a higher maximum brightness versus the older S21, so absolutely no worries whatsoever with outdoor visibility. Both the S21 and the S22 can dynamically adjust the refresh rate of their displays as well to match whatever content you are consuming, all the way up to 120 Hz to make your games and other supported apps look silky smooth. However, while the original S21 could only drop the refresh rate down to 48 Hz minimum, the S22 can actually drop it further all the way down to just 10 Hz. So that means if you're just looking at a static image on your smartphone screen, very little power is being consumed indeed, which will hopefully boost the battery life. And yes, like the S21 before, the S22 sports a stereo speaker setup with decent output as well. Boost the volume all the way up to max. You got some reasonably loud output and pretty clear still. There's still subtle headphone jack action on the S22, unfortunately, just like last year's blower, but at least the Bluetooth 5.0 support on the S21 has been upgraded to Bluetooth 5.2 if you want to get your wireless streaming on the go. But potentially one of the biggest upgrades of the S22 versus the old S21 is the Exynos chipset that runs the show. You've got the 2200 packed inside this fresh new blower versus the 2100 which was running the show on the S21. Although the 8 gigs of RAM that's stuffed inside remains unchanged. The fresh 4nm Exynos 2200, which was crafted in partnership with good old AMD, serves up Samsung's awkwardly titled but swaggerific X-Clips GPU, which supports all kinds of clever console-style graphical shenanigans like ray tracing, which you won't even find on some rivals like the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. So you can expect absolutely stunning graphics from supported titles. Not really sure how many supported titles will emerge, we'll have to wait and see on that front. And we'll hopefully get smoother gaming performance as well, courtesy of the Exynos 2200's variable rate shading smarts. And I've got to say, gaming on the Samsung Galaxy S21 flagship phone was a mite disappointing. The likes of Genshin Impact really struggled at times. I got still some that's how much it disappointed, as much as my delivery in this video. But yeah, I weirdly saw some serious frame rate drops on that Galaxy S21 when I boosted up the detail settings to like the higher levels in the likes of Genshin Impact, for instance, which most rivals could cope with absolutely fine. The only good thing about the Exynos 2100 chipset was that it remained quite cool while gaming, so you know, the S21 stayed cool under pressure. Of course, you'll have to stay tuned for my full in-depth Galaxy S22 review, where I get some proper hands-on gaming action on the go to see if it's any improvement in that area, but fingers crossed. And yeah, you got full 5G and Wi-Fi 6 support on the S21 and the S22 as well, so super future-proofing as you'd kind of expect from flagship blowers. Now you had a 4000 mAh capacity battery stuffed inside of the S21's slender compact frame, and even though the dimensions have only shrunk a little bit, the Galaxy S22 does sport a significantly smaller 3700 mAh capacity cell. This is probably the bit that worries me the most about the fresh new Galaxy S22, because the S21's battery life was not great. In fact, I barely made it through a full day ever with that thing, and the S22, if it's supposed to be smaller battery, then chances are we might see similar battery wars. It all depends on the Exynos 2200 and if it is massively more energy efficient to make amends. Again, only time will really tell, and unfortunately you're going to have to wait again for my in-depth review to see what the crack is there. But in terms of the actual recharging support, well, no change there whatsoever. It's once again 25 watt wired charging on the S22. Seems even more lethargic than it did last year, because lots of rivals are coming out with like 66 watt wired charging, 80 watt, up to 100 watts in some cases. But you should also have 15 watt wireless charging, full Qi support as usual on the S22, just like last year's S21, with that wireless power share feature as well, so you can slap your Galaxy Buds on the back or whatever and power them up on the go. So let's finish up this S21 versus S22 comparison with a look at the camera tech, and that 12 megapixel primary sensor on the Galaxy S21 has been seriously upgraded to a 50 megapixel shooter on the S22, once again with optical image stabilization on board. And that's a similar sort of upgrade what we saw in the recent Pixel 6 smartphone versus the older Pixel 5, and it definitely made a difference to the overall photo quality. Then you got some really nice natural looking skin tones even in lower light. So stay tuned for my in-depth review for a proper side-by-side camera comparison. But yeah, the S22 certainly seems to capture some really crisp, gorgeous looking photos with very natural colors and really does a good job in low light as well. If you're trying to shoot a moving subject, then yes, you will get some motion blur, of course, especially a fast moving drinks receptacle like this. But if you can convince your subject to actually stand still, you should get some nice looking night shots, that's for sure. And the video chops certainly proper solid, even in low light as well. The S22 once again sports a 12 megapixel ultra-wide angle shooter as well, just like the original S21. Doesn't seem to be much difference in the hardware tech there. However, the 64 megapixel so-called telephoto lens of the S21 has been replaced with a 10 megapixel actual telephoto shooter on the S22. So rather than shooting an image and then simply cropping into it to get a telephoto style zoom effect, the S22 is actually capable of zooming into a subject before taking the photo. It's a 3x optical zoom, and certainly for my hands-on time, it looked to be an improvement over the S21, sharper detail, a lot less grain and fuzz. For your video shenanigans, you can once again shoot up to 8K resolution footage on the Galaxy S22, just like the S21, and you'll basically find the same camera modes on here as well, the night mode, the food mode if you actually have to shoot your burger or whatever before you eat the bloody thing. Good old single take, of course, you can capture lots of random pics and video clips all at the same time. And then for your selfies, you've got a 10 megapixel front-facing shooter on the Galaxy S22. Again, just like the S21, and certainly for my hands-on time, didn't seem to be any difference there whatsoever. So there you have it. That in a nutshell is how the fresh new Galaxy S22 stacks up to the older S21. These are just my early impressions. I will hopefully be doing a full in-depth review of the Galaxy S22 soon. Go check out my 1 year later review of the Galaxy S21 to see what I thought of that one. And it'd be great to hear from you guys as well. So if you've got the S21, are you tempted to upgrade to the S22? I guess you might want to wait to see how the battery life fares and if that camera tech is indeed a marked improvement. So yeah, stay tuned, ping that notifications bell, hit the subscribe, do all that shiz. And of course, have yourselves a bloody fantastic rest of the week. Cheers everyone, love you.